How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. So today we're going to go over the Garmin Tactix 8. Of course, this is their newest Garmin flagship that just came out like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, and I have had some time with this. But is it really worth the upgrade from the Tactix 7? That's what a lot of people are asking. And it's funny because as I dive into the features, which I'm going to share with you, there isn't very notable differences. There are a few, and there's a couple sketchy ones that we're going to dive into, which the military tactical community is going to be very interested with, I guess you could say. But overall, I don't know. But let's dive into the upgrades, right? So why do you care about my opinion? Well, first off, I've been using the Tactix series, every Tactix series, specifically, here's the 8, of course, the 7, the Delta, the Charlie, and the Bravo, all throughout my military career. So I kind of understand where these fit into the market and how they are marketing this. So from my opinion, that's what we're going to be discussing. Now, what are the notable upgrades? What did they change? Well, overall, this watch got about a 16% upgrade in just about everything. Now, that includes battery life, satellite systems, GPS time, and some other stuff. And then it also has some new apps built into it. So, specifically, what do I mean by 16% upgrade? Well, it got about a 16% upgrade on the battery life. So we're adding about two days worth of use. Now, of course, this is the non-AMOLED version. I personally don't like the AMOLED version just because of performance-wise. And to give you specifics, the AMOLED version is going to give you 16 days of battery life. This version, the non, is going to give you 30 days. So it's a 50% decrease in performance. I'm a performance guy. Not very looks, I guess you could say, but that's just my opinion. If you want the AMOLED version, I would say send it. It's probably a great watch. It's almost identical just in some of the battery specs. But again, weight-wise, this actually got a little heavier, by 5 grams. Who cares about 5 grams? Sure, not too much. But again, I wish they would go the opposite way. I wish they were lightening it up. Performance-wise, the weight, it doesn't really matter. But it did get about a 6% increase on the GPS time. Also, it has an ambient light sensor in this now. So I haven't witnessed this thing actually being utilized just yet, but I'm going to guess, and how they explain it is kind of like a cell phone, right? You have a cell phone, and if you go into a darker environment, it dims down automatically and stuff like that, so it can sense what environment you're currently in. This watch, I guess, can also do that. So that's kind of cool. Now, the other sketchy thing about it is right down here, in my opinion, for a tactical watch. It now has a microphone, just like the Phoenix series, which of course we saw the Phoenix series get this, and I assumed the Tactix series maybe would get this, or they get 2 different versions, because there's a lot of military folks out there that don't want to have a microphone in this for obvious reasons and compartmentalized of information. Now, of course, both of these watches and even the predecessors were not authorized in SCIFs or specific secret locations, and you have to take those off at the door, which is often why I wear, an automatic watch at times, but I typically wear a GPS watch over here on the other side for other tasks. So I think the microphone is interesting. Yes, you can take calls, and yeah, it's, in my opinion, better than an Apple Watch, because an Apple Watch gives you about, a day worth of use, 24 hours. This gives you 30 days worth of use that you can make phone calls, Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff, Bluetooth, which is also an inherent risk for the military folk, but that's a whole nother discussion of a topic which I will get into later. Next is the satellite systems. The Tactix 7 rolled around on 3 satellite systems. The new Tactix 8 has 5 because they increased to 2 more. One of them being a little sketchy, in my opinion. So the Tactix 7 has GPS, it has Galileo, and GLONASS. GPS is exclusively owned by the United States government and is civilian used. Next is the Galileo system, which is the European system. Again, it can track this stuff. Third is GLONASS, which is the Russian system, so the Russian satellites. Next, the newest one for the Tactix 8 is QZSS, or the Japanese satellite systems. Okay, so we're getting Japanese satellite systems in it. Now the controversial one is we're getting Beidou, or Bendu, however you say that appropriately, but this is the Chinese satellite systems. Now I understand this is only a receiver, not a transmitter, so there's a whole nother discussion that I'm going to go on again about, is this a threat to potential information? Well, it does have a microphone, and it can technically be hacked, but again, I'll talk about that in another video. But that's the satellite systems. Okay, so app-wise, right? One of the notable systems or apps is rucking. They added the rucking feature, which in my opinion, for what I do, is pretty cool because you can specifically tailor the weight of your pack depending on how heavy it is. And then your Garmin, of course, will calculate that in distance, time, of course, like all the other stuff that they're doing, which is very interesting. Slightly different user profile. I haven't found to be very difficult. It's very similar to the 7, almost identical, but they just changed, like, you know, all the little icons and stuff. The same locations, same capabilities, but a little bit different in that realm. So, is it really worthwhile to make the upgrade? In my opinion, right now, honestly, looking at it, no, it's not at this point in time. Granted, I only got like 2 or 3 days on this watch, and we're gonna do future videos about it to explain the capabilities and stuff like that. So take this video with a grain of salt, but I'm just explaining the upgrades of it, right? Satellite systems, weight, battery life. Battery life was pretty good, 16% upgrade, and a couple of the apps, which is pretty decent too. Getting into the physical features of it, this feels different. Actually putting it in your hands. From the 7, in my opinion, the buttons have like almost like a clicky pen feel, which is nice in my opinion, because you know when you actuate it, you know when it works. The Tactix 8 kind of has a spongy feel to it. It's odd. It doesn't often, like if you don't click it good enough, it won't respond. And I've also noticed the Tactix 7 seems to be a little bit more responsive when it comes to the touchscreen. You can really gently move it around. And with this one, it doesn't, I'm doing the same exact thing and it's not swiping. Now, you have to really put your finger down and really move it up to actually make it work. Is that a big deal? No, I'm kind of picking on it. But just note that there is subtle differences. Of course, the visual ones as well, as you can see, along with the solar capability and that kind of stuff, right? You don't see the solar panel in it anymore, just like the Tactix 7. But overall, at the moment, I don't know if it's worth it. Also, you're not getting a different strap with it. The Tactix 7 shipped with 2 straps, which has the nylon one and the silicone one. I prefer the silicone just myself, but the Tactix 8 is not gonna have that this go around. At least mine didn't, and it only has the silicone band. So just be understanding of that. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, I'm gonna dive into way more details about this here in the future. We're gonna put this thing through its paces. As you can see, the Tactix 7 has been really abused over the last couple years, and we're gonna do the same thing with Tactix 8. And I'm gonna explain, is this worth it to put your money into? So if you're excited for that, definitely like, subscribe, greatly appreciate it. We also have PayPal down below. And if you're interested in purchasing one of these, we definitely have our links in the description box below. It helps us out a lot. Garmin did not pay me. Garmin has no idea I'm doing this review. I can say whatever I want about this watch, which is kind of funny why I'm not recommending it at this point, because you can probably find the Tactix 7 for cheaper than the 8 at the moment. But that's just my opinion. Time will tell. So other than that, there's the Tactix 8. We're going to dive into it in the future. Hope you all have a great day.